CagriSema versus Retatrutide for your GLP-1 update. Hi, beautiful friends. I'm Elizabeth, Countess of Shopping. I have lost over 98 pounds being on GLP-1 medication of Mounjaro, Zepbound, and TIRZEPATIDE compound. And I am currently on Zepbound, 15 milligrams due to the shortages. That's why I've switched medications a bunch. And I am a super enthusiast who has somewhat hit the ceiling with Zepbound 15 milligrams, a life-saving miracle drug from Eli Lilly, the manufacturer. And so I get very amped and juiced when I hear about upcoming GLP-1 medications, and that's what we're going to discuss on today's video. As always, I'm not medical at all, simply my experience, strength, and hope. I will cite all of my sources down in the description link below. Just click that ... more button so you can go ahead and check those out. Because this is exciting, you're going to want to hit subscribe, like, and share this video with your GLP-1 bestie. They need to know what's coming down the pipeline. Retatrutide, I've talked about, is the Godzilla of GLP-1 medication. So the CagriSema is through manufacturer Novo Nordisk. Retatrutide is through, and they're both in trial phases. These are not on the market. If you see people saying, oh, I'm doing the Retatrutide, unless they're in the clinical trial, no, they're not. That's a scam. If someone's saying the CagriSema, I'm on it, unless they're in the clinical trial, no, they're not. No, they're not. So just FYI, I've been seeing that pop up a lot recently on social media, and I'm like, oh, no, those are scammers. Retatrutide is through the manufacturer Eli Lilly. And so that is a triple receptor agonism. And so CagriSema is fascinating. I am really jazzed about both of these because for me, I'm at the ceiling. I still have weight loss to go. I'm still not done to technically get to a healthy BMI. I'm still, how many pounds off am I? I'm over 30 pounds or maybe around the 30, somewhere in that ballpark. So there's still a ways to go on this journey. I've lost a lot, but I still have a ways to go. And so I am actively looking, because I'm at the ceiling, of these new medications that's going to take a while to come to marketplace. But what happened, and so I'm going to set my source. It's for Women First. It's through Yahoo News that published this article from Jenna Stanley. I thought it was pretty good though, and so I'll link that down in the description link below. But CagriSema is it's a combo of the semaglutide, which is the active ingredient for Wegovy and Ozempic, just FYI. And it has a new compound called CagriSema, which mimics a hormone amylin. It's going to work with the insulin. And so we're going to hear a lot about blood sugar. And so the people who have been in this trial have type 2 diabetes. You're going to want to stay till the end because there's some not so good stuff about this too that we're also going to talk about as well. But the trial of the CagriSema was basically studying the efficacy and safety of a fixed dose of the combination of the CagriSema, which was 2.4 milligrams of the semaglutide, and the 2.4 milligrams of the CagriSema compared to the individual components. So they're comparing them against semaglutide, which is 2.4 milligrams, and that's the highest dose of Wegovy, FYI. So they're comparing, this is where I like nerd out, the highest dose of Wegovy, which so many of you are on, and then adding this in with the highest dose of the semaglutide in there with the CagriSema. And so it was a 32 weeks of treatment. People taking the CagriSema showed a significantly higher blood sugar reduction of 2.8% points versus the 1.79% points for people with the semaglutide alone, meaning people on Wegovy or Ozempic, because they're the same thing, just two different FDA approvals. And the 0.93%, so less than 1% point of the CagriSema alone. So said researchers. So it was the CagriSema plus the semaglutide combined together to become one. And so additionally, those treated with the CagriSema experienced a higher body weight reduction of 15.6% compared to the reduction of 5.1% of people treated with semaglutide and 8.1% CagriSema. That's fascinating, by the way. That's more than 10 percentage points. That is very exciting. Woo! That gives me jazz hands. So the medication also appears to be safe and well tolerated, profile noted Novo Nordisk. And it goes on to talk about basically the side effects where there was what we see with GLP-1 medication. Diarrhea, constipation, nausea. So we're still seeing those, like tummy issues are continuing with this, but they were seeming to say, quote from the rep from Novo Nordisk said, safe and well tolerated profile. So we're encouraged by the impressive phase 2 results of the CagriSema with people with type 2 diabetes. But pump the brakes, pump the brakes, pump the brakes. They still need to go to phase 3 trial. And then it still needs to go through FDA approvals to eventually get to the marketplace if it does. So keeping all of those things in mind, we've seen such hope and promise of Retatrutide. I'll use my I statements. I will be one of the first people in line if I can get Retatrutide pending, of course, my doctor approval. I will do that because I am obsessed. But the differences seen with the CagriSema, and one of the things that to note with these is the people who were taking it had type 2 diabetes. And so it looks like with these blood sugar points, it's been noted that it potentially could also, some people were, there's been conversation, and it wasn't in this specific article, but further research, because I wanted to do my due diligence, talked about potential hypoglycemic issues, meaning too low of blood sugar. And so people who have type 2 diabetes have high blood sugar. And so if people don't have type 2 diabetes, but potentially took the CagriSema, would that lead them into hypoglycemia of having too low of blood sugar? And so Retatrutide, one of the differences of the CagriSema versus Retatrutide is the differences between blood sugars, and that Retatrutide seem more stable for blood sugars and not having the risk of hypoglycemia. So I thought that was fascinating. Again, I am the Stan club leader of Retatrutide. I'm obsessed. Like, the more I learn about it, the more excited I get about it. For me, because I'm at the highest dose of Zepbound, 15 milligrams, there's nowhere else for me to go. And the appetite suppression I once had, when people talk about how they have so much appetite suppression on GLP-1 medication, I'm like, please let me have it back. Please let me have it. I really, really would love to go back to that. And so having these higher dose medications for GLP-1 receptors is really, really exciting, because the triple receptor agonism is with Retatrutide, whereas Zepbound and Mounjaro are the two. So the company is currently conducting phase 3 development for the program of the CagriSema in overweight people with type 2 diabetes, and results are expected by the end of 2024. Assuming phase 3 is successful, Novo Nordisk will likely submit the new drug application, the NDA, to the U.S. the FDA, formally requesting the administration's review of the approval of the drug. Excuse me. After the application is submitted, the typical timeline is anywhere from 6 to 10 months for the FDA to review to make a decision whether the drug will be used for commercial use or not. Generally, the approval process is streamlined or expedited in the case of drugs that meet emerging health public need, yes, which might include a national drug shortage, such as the case of Ozempic and Wegovy, due to their increased popularity. So, going back over and kind of like reverse engineering the timelines, because your girl really cares. I'm like, so when can I potentially get this medication? Of course, pending, obviously always, of course, pending my healthcare provider's blessing on that I fit if someone fit when this comes to marketplace. So they were saying that in terms of assuming phase 3 trial is successful, that they would submit for the approval of the FDA. And it looks like their company is currently conducting phase 3 right now for the CagriSema in overweight people. And it says the results are expected around the end of 2024. If I am reading that correctly, it sounds like in about a month and a half that it would be the end of the phase 3 trial, and that it could get submitted to the FDA for 6 to 10 months. Let's just err on the side of, if it got pushed through for expedited case, that it would be around 6 months-ish. So if we look, I'm just timelines. January 1st would be when the clinical trials would be done. They submit it. 6 months from there, we could be looking at the earliest, if my math is right on all this, June 2025. Am I getting too excited? So maybe I should temper it. I know you guys are going to come in the comments and be like, Elizabeth, you read that wrong. So I want to make sure I'm being factually accurate. Therefore, I will cite all of my sources down below. Just click the ... more button on this. But it looks like it's that. At worst case scenario, pending how the phase 3 trials go, it says it would end by the end of the year. So we're going to say January 1st, 2025. With 10 months onto that, that would be October 2025. So, y'all, I'm shooketh. I am shooketh about that. That's exciting. In 2025, we could be seeing this if I'm reading this correctly. Retatrutide Retatrutide is still in clinical trial too. So we know, and I have said this before in other videos, that it was 2026 was when I was thinking new drugs would come out. So the fact that it could potentially be 2025, I don't want to, you guys know I detest spreading false information. It makes the veins in my neck pop out, and we don't want to do that. So I'm hoping that I'm reading and interpreting that correctly. But that is so exciting that if you go through to compare, and the article it talked about the CagriSema, it was 25% weight loss. WEGOVY and weight loss was 15%. And Zepbound, per their website, so it's to cite my sources, was off of Eli Lilly's Zepbound website, said 21% after 17th month clinical trial in the highest dose, which was 15 milligrams. So, and then Retatrutide is 24%. However, the blood sugar challenges that CagriSema, that unless you have type 2 diabetes, it sounds like that could be an issue of people having too low of blood sugars. But if this is the other flip side of that, so many of you watching, and this is who I want you to share it with, if you've got somebody who's got really high blood sugars and they're not able to get them under control with GLP-1 medications, and I know there's several of you out there because you guys have told me, you're like, oh, my blood sugars are still wonky, that this potentially may be an option. And going back over to chronic obesity, that there's different spectrums of this, and it's because all of our bodies are different. And so, and there's like doctors and medical people will say it a little bit differently than what I'm saying, but the bottom line is we're different. And so my chronic obesity management is different than yours, and our medical conditions are different, so therefore the treatments are going to be different. And so what may work well for one may not work well for others, because there's so many varying degrees on the spectrum of chronic obesity, and then thus the management of it. One of you beautiful souls corrected me on one of my videos, and I really, really appreciate it. They did it in such a loving, kind, graceful way, so thank you. They were talking about how I was talking about chronic obesity management and being really clear on the management component side of it, of like, the journey of the management is different for different people. And so I really appreciate the person. I wish I had your name to go through and say thank you so much, because I thought that was really insightful about the management component of chronic obesity management when you have chronic obesity, and that looks different for people. It really does. And so this medication still has a ways to go. Retatrutide still has a ways to go. We're still seeing, the trials come out. I'm still monitoring those and still actively looking at those. But what I go back to is I get so excited about the future. And what I'm going to actively do for myself is be where my hands and feet are. Live in today, be in today. What am I doing today to move me closer to my goals? I can't change a lot of things, but there are a lot of things I can change, including my food intake, my body movement, and my weight training, my water consumption, my sleep. Am I having prayer and meditation for my brain to calm it down because my brain can get loopy? For me, yes. And also whom I'm associating with and what I'm putting into my brain. And hopefully I'm part of your daily routine with my daily show, to help you stay encouraged, help you stay positive, help. For me, one of the things I have to do is keep my weight loss journey and my health and wellness journey on the forefront of a daily active routine. If I'm not doing that, then I fall off of that, and that's a problem. And then I make poor choices, and then I have a Zepbound weight stall, or gosh forbid, a Zepbound weight gain. And so keeping this on a daily routine for me has been the secret sauce and the secret success. And so I hope that that encourages you in my free encouragement group, which is linked in the description link below. Now, speaking of amazing, beautiful souls, YouTube has, hopefully you guys see this video, because there was a new algorithm shift. You guys know in my job, I'm a video marketing strategist. So noticing these new changes, there's a massive algorithm shift here on YouTube, which has made me literally mental the last week, because many of you haven't seen my videos. But a new thing that YouTube did do was tell me who the best viewers are in our community out of the thousands and thousands of viewers I have and community here, which I am so grateful. I'm so grateful. If you've made it this far in the video, I'm so grateful for you. I care about you so much. I care about your health and wellness journey so much. And so it's this new feature called Community Spotlight. I'm only going to say first names because I want to protect people's privacy, of course. But Mindy was one. And you know it if this is you because you watch every video and comment and stuff. Mindy was one. Lisa was one. Gammy was one. Dawn is one. Cecilia was one. Those were the top, top 5. And I wish I could clip out more. I'm like, I want to see the top 10. But I thought that was really, really, Oh, see, this is where I don't like YouTube. There's what comments like, I love you, but please stop with the hands. It's very distracting. I'm not. This is my personality. I'm not. Like, no. You can start your own YouTube channel and you can have no hand motions. I get excited. I get passionate. I talk quickly. I move my hands. It is who I am. I'm not. I see, this is where I don't like YouTube, of seeing comments like that when I was trying to really stay positive with the positive people. I appreciate you, Mindy, Lisa. The whole point of that was to be positive, not negative. It was Mindy, Lisa, Gammy, Dawn, Cecilia. I love you guys so super much. And YouTube says that you guys are amazing as well. That is for today's video. I'm really, really excited about this information though, because it means that there's more coming down the pike. The other thing I can control is protein. And so my favorite proteins are down below. I, of course, love Bioptimizers. They're having this month a bundle pack set. It's the 3-pack of their protein breakthrough, their mushroom breakthrough, which it sounds gross, but it's not. It's the mushroom breakthrough is actually, I use it for collagen. It does not taste like mushrooms at all. They have chai caramel. The caramel's my favorite. And then a chocolate one. And then there's a third at the microbiome. So if you have gut issues, that bundle set's actually 25% off in November 2024. I will link that down below. Use the discount code QUEEN to take advantage of that. Otherwise, there is a discount for everything else that they have, which I'm obsessed with. So I'm gonna go have my protein-filled lunch right now. I'm really excited because those are the things I can control. Also my collagen. I have been loving Clean Simple Eats. Their peach collagen is back in stock. Use the discount code QUEEN off of their website. I'll link that down below. Like, things like that are just simple daily shifts that I have made that have made a really big difference. And so I want to encourage you. It may seem small, but it's really not small. These incremental steps really do make a big difference. So for me, for my health. Oh, and because I have the shirt on, the shirt is actually on sale, so I'll link that down below as well. But my neck cream, you guys know I am obsessed. I have several favorites. I have 3. So this is one of my 3, and I'll link those down on my Amazon beauty list, is the Go Pure Neck Cream. I love the texture. I love the way it feels. And most importantly, I love the results because I have loose skin. My body, these creams, like the neck cream and the body cream, is not going to take away my loose skin, but it helps me have more confidence, and it does make a difference. It's not going to make a massive difference. I'm still have my loose skin, but it literally does make me feel better about myself. And if a cream can do that to make me feel, then let's rock on with the confidence. I love you guys so super much. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others. In this time of day of literally, let's really go out of our way with kindness and love. And I'm going to say that too. I'm really going to practice what I'm saying. I'm making sure I'm being super kind and loving, even if people aren't necessarily always kind and loving to me. Our emoji of the day today is going to be a star, because we have stars on the horizon with these new GLP-1 medications with Retatrutide and the CagriSema. That's exciting. So star, and that signals to me our emoji of the day that you made it this far in the video. I will pray over you. If you don't believe in prayer, I'll uplift you in positive thought. But most importantly, our emojis of the day help me to get to know you better. And also your question of the day, because I care. Our question of the day is, what are you doing today to move you closer to your goals? For me, it's walking 5 miles today, eating a high protein based meal, and there's another one. Oh, I'm going to bed early. My husband and I have been really working on sleep, and so getting some good sleep in. My sweet friends, be kind to yourself, be kind to others. I'm Countess of Shopping. Count my blessings, because life is delicious. I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Don't forget to share this video with your bestie.